Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue 1. I was really nervous about reading this book, but I'm happy to inform that I was relatively entertained by this book. Though I will say that for certain books, this kind of more abstract look, it really has to have a tone in order for it to work. Because if it doesn't, then the book could be all over the place. And this art style in particular reminds me of something like either from 100 Bullets or from I cannot remember the artist's name. It's Wes something or other, but I think it's not Wes Bolin. That's Limp Bizkit. But he was the one that did the artwork for Diddley Class, and it worked for that because it was just sort of this surreal kind of drug-induced trip. And that's kind of what I think they're going for with this book. And when you open it up, like you're getting these wild psychedelic colors, and then you open up to more of these stark yellows and blacks and blues, and it says, "Why do people do the things they do?" He goes, "Oh my God, he's wearing," and it cuts off. "Sir, can you hear me? Why do some people become firefighters and other arsonists? Why do some people become doctors while others become killers? Why do two particular people fall in love?" And this is what kind of really made me interested is the fact that he's John Jones. He's a detective just like he was in the original Prime universe, but he gets caught in an explosion. And so he's having these deep thoughts. And when we're in the reality of the moment, these dark colors really set the tone, the mood of what reality is. But while he's questioning these things, we see these silhouettes with these really cool looking colors. When he says, "Why do two particular people fall in love?" Here, listen, comprehend me. And this is what I thought was kind of interesting also, is the fact that we all know John's weakness in the Prime universe is fire. And he goes to light up a cigarette and he goes, "What are you doing? This is a hospital. You can't light that in here." "No." "Then where the hell is all this smoke coming from?" Now, one thing that I will say, I know with the absolute, and I've said this with Wonder Woman and Batman so far, they're trying to make it edgy, just like the old Ultimate Marvel Comics was doing. We're used to John having more of this heart, kind of down to earth individual. And the way that they're portraying him thus far, he reminds me too much of Constantine. Now, don't get me wrong, I love John Constantine, but when you start to have characters starting to match one another like that, then it's like the personalities just don't make them special. But let's continue. The writer is Denise Camp. Art is Javier Rodriguez. Letters is Hassan Ostman. El Ilhu? Sure. Cover was Javier Rodriguez. There's all the variant covers. Cover, variant, blah, blah, blah. But I do love Martian Manhunter, created by Joseph Satchman and Joe Certa. I'm glad that they're starting to give credit where credit is due. And I do like this. Very much has that 60s vibe to it. So this is his wife. He goes, he told you that you're not cleared for vacation, which the doctor did, but he's just saying he doesn't want to basically be alone. This is insane. The building you are in exploded. It's a miracle you survived it all. And they want you to go to work tomorrow? That's the job, Bridget. And so he's just this very cold individual. He kind of reminds me of Doc Manhattan in a sense. She goes, "I need you, John. Tyler needs you." Is Tyler okay? Like, he's fine. That's good. You've barely been home since you joined the task force. I don't know anyone in Middleton. I miss my husband. And then we see again, I like when they use colors as sort of like a reoccurring theme of what's going to happen. So his lighter has the same colors I saw just a moment ago. And it goes, memory of desert camping trip as boy, lonely fire burning, then whisk of smoke on far out horizon. Father saying, "Saddle up, partner." And so he's trying to say, okay, well, I'll talk to the sergeant, see if I get more time off. He goes, "I'm okay. I'd rather work." "Why not take a few days off, John? No one expects you to be after." And then we go back to, why do some people get up, get dressed, and go to work faithfully every morning? "I do have a few questions, though." "Not now, Newell. Give the man some time to recover." And then one morning, get up, get dressed, and go blow up a coffee shop. "Sir, I'm working 12 active cases right now. If I take a couple of weeks off, it'll set me back months. And if one of those should escalate into a full-blown incident while I'm out, well, it wouldn't look good. Is that a threat, Jones?" You go, "Are you sure you're back to normal?" "Absolutely back to normal." And we go from, again, these stark colors to these psychedelic things. They just really enhances the story. They tell him that he can't be on this particular case because he's a witness, but he goes and does it. You look for warning signs. How do I know the bomber's mother hates pickles? Always gave hers to him. How do I know that this bomber and his lifelong best friends um, did something together and never spoke to it again to each other? Surprising behavior, cries for help. How do I know the bomber's neighbor is telling the truth, but trying to hide the near daily cannabis use? So he's noticed he has all these different things happening to him, and he doesn't know what to do about it. And then he tells his wife, she goes, "How are you feeling?" "Fine." "No vacation?" "No vacation." Memory of living music, dancing in daffodil light, abstracted canyons beyond physics and form, waves of quantum foam gently lapping. You're just kind of thinking, what the hell's going on? So he goes to talk to his son, and we segue from the colors that he's seen to his son's Play-Doh. "Why don't you go see out of your son?" "What are you working on, Tyler?" "Is that you and mommy?" "These are really good, Tyler. Great job." "Where am I? Where's daddy?" And he points to this, and we see an alien. I stay awake all night trying not to think of the smoke, of what's waiting for me in it. Have you ever tried not to think of something? It's all you can think of. So you can see this is putting a strain on his marriage because he doesn't know what the hell's going on. And he actually breathes in all this smoke that's starting to flow around him. As she speaks, she starts to smoke. No, not like cigarette, but she herself starts to smoke. Steam pours out of her ears like an angry cartoon. I breathe in. And then this is great because he starts to get all these psychic thoughts of the boy, or the man that he's investigating that blew up the coffee shop. I breathe in and inhale Mike Miller's first day of school, all dressed up and full of potential. Overwhelming feeling of love and pride. Plus him picking flowers for his mother's birthday, and the crushed look on his face the day I told him his father wouldn't be coming home. She told him. And then he starts coughing just. So I think what I like about Martian Manhunter is it's a slow burn. It feels more like he's, psychologically tormented. And as these thoughts that he's having intensify, he starts to start reading everyone's thoughts, and he thinks he's going insane. He's like, what the hell is wrong with me? He starts to run, starting to see all the things that happen to him. So you think it's kind of like this PTSD thing. And what I like at the ending of the book, they do this cool thing where it says, "Message to my fellow Martians. To activate your Martian vision, please take page 25 of the comic book in your hands and hold it up to the light. Use a lamp, a reading light, or the sun itself. It's up to you. See diagram for details." So basically, you hold this page up to the light, and there's a cool superimposement that happens. I don't want to run it for you guys. I want you to go read it. But he actually gets a realization of what he is. Now, we all know that John's name is the Martian Manhunter. Goes, "Memory of that building you were in exploded. It's a miracle you survived it all." "No, not miracle. Me, us. What are you? Mind, hunt, kill, save, redeem, healer. Now you, through the smoke, remember." So in a sense, it looks like John doesn't remember where he is, and I think that's where the story's going to go, is how he did end up on Earth and whatnot. But I'm interested to see how they're going to retool John from being this sort of the heart of the team to being this more cold character that we've been introduced to thus far. So out of all the absolute books I've read thus far, this was interesting because they've taken John way out there in left field. And it's interesting. But I will say, like I did with the other two books, this would have been great as a new character. That's why, and I said it again, that I love DC's New Age of Heroes when we got the Silencer, the Miracle Men, I think it was, and Damage, because they were telling these stories and we were getting new characters to add to the mythos instead of retelling ones that have already been established. But for what it is, entertaining book, gorgeous artwork, and for the narrative, the visual storytelling is absolutely beautiful with the sense of color and the pencilings. It adds to this comic. So if you've enjoyed what you see, please, first and foremost, support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics. and grab this issue and the ones that have come out. I don't know how many are out at this moment. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate taking a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you can possibly know. And if you want to hit that fancy little Martian bell next, subscribe. That was like typical content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.